Consistency in design is an interesting thing. When you have something that works, there's no need to change it. Today I'm looking at a watch that typifies that very kind of design and in many ways has come to define the brand that makes it. This is a week on the wrist with the IWC Portugieser chronograph. The IWC Portugieser chronograph is just an honest watch. It's a reasonably sized 41mm, 2-register, no-date chronograph with a vintage-inspired but modern-leaning design that does its job and does so effectively. The model we're looking at today is the steel with the silver dial and the blue markers, and for me, it's pretty much a winner. It somehow manages to balance the sports watch look with something a little bit flashier. When you're looking at the watch in direct sunlight, the blue numerals pick up a lot of that light and you get a lot of interesting viewing angles. Now the word versatility can get a little played out, but that's exactly what this is. The 2-register layout with minimal text on the right and left sides of the dial speak to its lasting impact. The simplicity is a winning element. Now, looking at the top and bottommost sections of the dial, we find the 12 and 6 obscured by the vertical orientation of the subsidiary dials. This is something that bugs a lot of people, and it's not my favorite, but it is something that has been done in watchmaking for a long time. The big news with this model is the upgrade to the in-house movement, the IWC caliber 69355. While older models had modified Valjoux or Sellita movements and closed casebacks. If you have a new in-house movement, you've got to show it off with an exhibition caseback, which is exactly what they did here. This is a column wheel chronograph produced by IWC. As this is one of their most iconic models, this is welcome news. If I had to nitpick one thing, it might be how loud the movement is. While I was wearing the watch, I noticed that as I moved my wrist around, I could actually hear the rotor moving. Not necessarily a deal breaker, but just something to note. In terms of wearability, you might look at the Portugieser chrono and think that it's more suited for professional attire, but I generally don't dress that way, and judging by the way that I've worn it, I've found that it fits in with a whole bunch of different types of clothing choices. I've worn it with jeans and a t-shirt, I've worn it with shorts, I've worn it with what you're seeing me wearing it with now, and I found that it fits in every single way. Something about the steel case and the blue numerals is more playful, it's a lot more casual, and for a watch that's on sort of the less sport end of the spectrum, I felt that it wore more like a sport watch in a lot of ways. The strap has kind of a double unlocking mechanism. So first you deploy it on this end and then you pull on the other side and it opens up kind of in both places. It's one of those unlocking mechanisms that requires a little bit of thought, which is not my favorite thing in the world, but I didn't have any issues putting it on or taking it off. Basically, like any deploying clasp, it clicks shut and then you thread the strap through underneath. So in terms of hassle and wear and tear on the leather strap, that's definitely a plus. One of the most interesting things about this new release is that with the upgrade to the in-house movement, IWC didn't increase the price by much. And with the outgoing model not having an in-house movement, with this one, you're getting a ton of value for the money in the same iconic package that you know and love. Unlike other sports chronographs, if we can even call this that, it isn't tied to anything. Not space missions or auto racing. It's really its own thing. An unassuming timepiece that doesn't need to be shoehorned into any category. I felt a certain freedom wearing it, knowing I could use it for whatever I saw fit. Taking an evening walk, playing a little music, making dinner, it never felt out of place. For whatever watch story you're looking to write, it'd be a worthy companion.